The film begins in a future where massive sinkholes appear after volcanic eruptions, releasing huge creatures that attack and kill humans. These creatures, named Reapers, quickly wipe out 90% of the world's population, and humans find no way to kill them. The Reapers cannot function above 8,000 feet in altitude, so the surviving humans take refuge high in the mountains, though life there is difficult with limited resources. Among the survivors is Hunter, the only child in his community who grows restless with mountain life. One day he ventures down the mountain hoping to see the Reapers. Though he doesn't find other humans, a Reaper spots and chases him. Hunter barely manages to escape by crossing back above the safe altitude line. His father discovers his dangerous expedition and scolds him, reminding Hunter that going below is unsafe, especially given Hunter's breathing problems that require him to use filters. Later, Hunter tells his father he wants to search for more survivors. His father responds, "Look, Hunter, I've lost your mom. I can't lose you too." While hunting with his friend Katie, Hunter's father remains distracted by worry for his son. Katie reassures him, suggesting that children naturally want to explore and need some independence. On their return, they encounter Professor Nina, who has spent 3 years experimenting with different bullets on Reaper shells, trying unsuccessfully to find a way to kill them. That night, Hunter falls seriously ill, and Will rushes to change his filter. Realizing it's their last one, Will knows he must venture down to the hospital for more filters. Though aware of the dangers, he has no choice to save his son's life. Will discusses his plan with Professor Nina, claiming he's found a safe route down. Nina disagrees, insisting no safe zones exist below and refuses to join. As Will prepares to go alone, Katie volunteers to accompany him, saying she has nothing left to lose and wants to help save Hunter. As they depart with their weapons, Professor Nina watches them leave. She ultimately decides to join them, believing this mission might finally help her develop the bullet capable of killing the Reapers. The group took a special route into the city that minimized their chances of encountering Reapers. Professor Nina showed them her modified compass, which could detect Reapers from a distance by sensing their electromagnetic waves. After walking for some time, they reached a potentially dangerous area, but Nina's compass indicated no Reapers nearby, so they pressed on. They came across several abandoned military trucks, remnants of a failed battle against the Reapers. Will and Katie salvaged survival supplies from the trucks, including grenades that Katie knew how to handle. They felt more confident with these weapons. Meanwhile, Professor Nina discovered and collected Reaper body parts for research, hoping to find their weakness. Tension rose when Katie began arguing with Nina, blaming her for the death of Will's wife. Their heated argument was interrupted by a distant sound. To their surprise, it wasn't a Reaper, but a herd of horses, revealing that the Reapers only targeted humans, not animals. The group then headed to a chairlift to continue their journey. Nina's compass suddenly detected a nearby Reaper, and they spotted it lurking behind a tree. They rushed to escape, with Will and Nina boarding the chairlift while Katie worked to power it up. As the Reaper approached Katie, she panicked and threw a grenade at it. Despite the explosion, the creature remained unharmed. They managed to start the chairlift, but Katie struggled to board it. She leaped from the tower, but missed the chair, nearly falling before Will caught her hand. Their relief was short-lived. The Reaper began violently shaking the cables, causing the chairlift to break and crash. The group fled to higher ground where the Reapers couldn't follow. Unable to reach their homes, they took shelter in a restaurant. There, Nina revealed how these monsters had methodically eliminated 95% of the world's population upon their arrival, as if exterminating humans was their sole purpose. Nina found it strange that the Reapers targeted only humans and no other living beings. This made her wonder if someone had specifically designed these creatures to eliminate humans, or if they were perhaps a divine punishment. As they discussed this, Katie and Professor Nina drifted off to sleep, while Will recalled memories of his wife. He remembered conversations about Nina. They had been partners, and Will's wife always believed Nina would be the one to create a weapon capable of killing the Reapers. The next morning, the three set out on their mission to gather supplies from the city. Their path led through a tunnel that was partially above the 8,000-foot safety line, where Reapers couldn't reach, but the lower section posed a risk. Despite the danger, they proceeded. Will hadn't warned Nina that her compass wouldn't work underground. After a long journey, they discovered the tunnel's far end was blocked, forcing them to find another route. Rather than backtrack for hours, they chose a shortcut through a stairwell. The passage, long abandoned, was infested with bats that attacked them, but they managed to survive. When they reached the next tunnel, they encountered a Reaper. They quickly dimmed their headlamps to avoid detection, but the creature sensed them anyway. As they fled, Katie threw a grenade, not to kill the Reaper, but to slow it down. This tactic worked briefly, but the creature kept pursuing them. Will fired shots at it, though the bullets had no effect. They found temporary shelter in a small cavity, but the Reaper thrust its burning tail near their faces, making it hard to breathe. Will distracted it by throwing a matchbox, which drew the creature's attention to the light. As they tried to escape through another passage, the Reaper blocked their path with the matchbox. Though Will evaded this attack, Katie rushed ahead into another tunnel, directly into a second Reaper. Despite Nina's desperate attempts to save her, Katie was killed. Their only escape was a ladder Nina spotted, and they were forced to leave Katie's body behind, a decision that would haunt them forever. They had reached a safe altitude above 8,000 feet where no Reapers could follow. Though they could have stayed safely here, Nina prioritized her mission and decided to head toward her lab. They found themselves among abandoned houses with plenty of food supplies. Nina prepared a meal for both of them, which reminded Will of Hunter. His son had always loved this kind of simple food, now a rarity in their city. Nina explained to Will her theory about creating special bullets to kill the Reapers. She believed they possessed some form of magnetic power that could be disrupted by a specific chemical mixture, creating a bomb-like effect with a 90% chance of killing them. Will was skeptical, though he remembered his wife had believed in Nina's theory. The next day, they headed toward the lab, stopping first at a hospital to collect Hunter's medicine and filters. Will carried his gun, prepared for Reapers, though Nina's compass showed no signs of monsters nearby. After gathering as many supplies as possible, they discovered a Reaper hiding in the hospital. Nina's compass had broken and failed to detect it. As they tried to escape, the Reaper crashed through walls and caught Will with its tentacle. Nina quickly grabbed an axe from a nearby firebox and struck the Reaper's tail, forcing it to release Will. Before fleeing, Nina opened all the oxygen cylinders, creating a thick fog to hide them from the Reaper. Will then shot one of the tanks, causing an explosion that blasted the Reaper out of the building. From above, they saw it lying motionless, but couldn't tell if it was dead or unconscious. Will suggested retreating, but Nina insisted on continuing to her lab to develop the special bullets. They left in a truck, unaware that the Reaper was regaining consciousness. At the lab, while Nina began working, Will discovered a family photo of hers. Surprised that Nina had never mentioned her family, he asked about it. Nina broke down crying and revealed that when the Reapers first attacked, she had chosen to stay in her lab despite her family's calls for help. Because of this decision, they had died, and I'm still alive today. Hearing this, Will becomes emotional. Nina continues, "That day changed everything. I vowed to take revenge on these Reapers. I will avenge my family." She turns and tests a bullet on a piece of Reaper scale, but it has no effect. Her formula isn't complete yet. "Go back to your son," she tells Will. "I'll stay until I find a solution and create an effective bullet." Will agrees, knowing Hunter needs the medicine he collected. While Nina works intently on her bullets, she fails to notice a Reaper entering her lab. Upon hearing its sound, she closes her eyes in fear. In that moment, she realizes she hasn't tried one particular chemical combination. Quickly, she mixes the chemicals and begins crafting a new bullet. Meanwhile, Will speeds toward town, but crashes his car into a rock and loses consciousness. When he comes to, he hears a monster nearby. Unable to start the car, he breaks the windshield and escapes, running uphill. The Reaper closes in, and Will's escape seems impossible, until a gunshot rings out. The Reaper falls, killed by Nina's newly perfected bullet. She arrived just in time to save Will. The Reaper's death triggers a massive explosion from the bullet's electrical charge. When Nina and Will examine the dead creature, they make a shocking discovery. It's not an organic being, but a robotic monster, specifically engineered to hunt humans. Will wonders who could have sent these machines. Nina theorizes they're alien-created robots, explaining that their inability to function above 8,000 feet must be a programming limitation. With her effective bullet formula, Nina eliminates all Reapers in their path and returns to camp triumphant. They raise a victory flag to signal their breakthrough. The survivors mass-produce bullets using Nina's formula, dedicating one to Katie's memory. Her sacrifice had inspired Nina's determination. Armed with these new weapons, the survivors begin reclaiming their territory from the Reapers. As Nina studies a Reaper's remains, she spots 3 massive spaceships descending from the sky through her telescope. The aliens, having learned of their Reaper's defeat, appear ready for full-scale war. The movie ends with this. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give the video a like.